What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. It's been a while, but here is another RC tank. This time it's a 1/16 scale Heng Long T-34/85. Now the T-34, there was approximately 84,000 produced. Now not all of that was the 85 version, approximately about 35,000 were the T-34-76, which was the original 76mm, and then the T-34-85 with the 85mm gun produced around 48,000. So, geez, what's that? 84,000 tanks during World War II. Now, well, during, you know, the time it's been in production, that's ridiculous. Now, not only was it one of the most produced tanks, but it's also one of the most tanks that had the most losses. I think just over 44,000 tank losses, which is amazing. So, yeah, that's incredible. A little bit of history lesson. So this, I think, was produced around about 1940, and it first went into battle in 1941 with the T-34-76, the original one with a 4-man crew. And when that came on the battlefield, the Germans in 1941 didn't know what hit them. They weren't expecting such a good tank, and that's what this was. Probably it's one thing that saved, or helped win the war for the Russians. You know, the Tiger, well, the Germans had the Tiger 1, the Panther, which came later on because of this guy, but Tiger 1 might knock out 5, 10 of these, but these guys would just keep on coming. There is a quality with quantity. So later on in 1944, it was up armoured, the crew was increased, it had 5-man crew, certain other features were a little bit ironed out, and also included the 85mm gun, which kind of helped it against the Tiger and the Panther. Now, the sloping armour of this guy, I should start talking while I'm getting out, but the sloping armour of this guy is what made it most successful. Now, it's the first tank that had sloping armour that was mass produced. So, you know, when you're thinking how many tanks are produced, and a lot of other tanks or countries copied the design with the sloping armour. Pretty incredible. And pretty amazing how many were built, and just at the cost they could produce that as well. Now, Heng Long tanks, they produce some fantastic tanks. They got budget tanks, and this one here is the metal version. So it includes a drive gearbox, zinc alloy, metal caliper, and a metal drive wheel as well. So that's pretty cool. Won't waste too much time with the outside of the box. I think I've talked enough already about the tank itself, or the history of it, but yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about it. It kind of shaped the way tanks are designed from then on, and even now they have sloping armour. So yeah, really, really cool stuff. So first up, let's just have a look. Have some tow wire here that's just plastic, but does look pretty cool. A little rubber gunner, it looks like, or an antenna. Another antenna here that actually serves a purpose. Some stickers as well that you want to put on the side. They look pretty cool. It's not just boring writing, it's got that kind of Russian handwritten writing on it. A target practice, because this is a BB gun. I have another one of these, I'm not too sure what they are, we'll find out in a minute. And the instruction manual itself, as you can see, 1/16 scale, radio control, T-34-85 from the 1944, factory number 174. Now Heng Long are definitely improving their game, they've definitely stepped it up, that's for sure. Different control boards, different 2x4 GHz controllers, which makes it so much more better as well. So basic stuff here tells you how to load it up, and you also get a bucket load of accessories. You get the external, I think they were 90-litre fuel tanks on the outside of the tank as well, and a lot of other accessories as well that you can put on, as you can see. We'll go through that later on in the video. Next up, you get a little accessories packet, but we'll leave that a little bit. We get a nice little envelope here. Never give up. Try not to. What's in here? Nothing but this little pamphlet. So you are invited to Heng Long's refit BBS. Okay, not too sure what that is. Okay, and then we have the instruction on how to control the tank, but we'll go through this later on with the 2.4 GHz controller. You also get a charger. It charges via the balance lead, so it does include a battery as well, so that's pretty cool. 6mm plastic ball bearings, which you fit up in the cupola, I believe it is, and they shoot out the gun barrel, which is pretty damn cool. Just got to watch out for kids using these. You don't want to aim at people's faces. Now in here we get a little accessories for the tank. Now this, like I said, includes all that external fuel tanks, all that other kind of good stuff. There's so much stuff in here. I said before, but they've really upped their game with the quality of the parts. They do look pretty cool. We'll put all these later on in the video. Let's lift up this styrofoam. And this one here is like the Pro version, as you can see. Let's lift it up quickly. It's got the airbrushing and stuff on the side from the factory. Now, obviously you can super detail this later on, but if you just want something ready to rock and roll, this thing looks pretty damn cool, I must admit. So it's got the additional weathering here, like the exhaust soot and stuff like that from the intakes up here, the exhaust stacks. It also has a smoke version. This one as well, so it does emit smoke. But I've done a pretty damn good job with this. It's got rubber road wheels. It feels kind of rubber, but cool thing about the T-34, what made it so superior, had a really wide footprint and excellent Christie suspension. Now it doesn't have the suspension, the T-34, like on some of the other tanks, which was later developed, but it still was damn good. Oh. These are in the back of the box, so there's your external fuel tanks. Right. Now there is a 2x4 GHz controller, so that's basic stuff here. We'll figure it out later, but you basically got your machine gun sounds, your bullet shooting, your control on this side normally, and your tire rotation and your turret elevation. And you've got some volume switches here, but let's see how many batteries it takes. So 6 batteries. I'm pretty sure the little controls, thumb switches, are in one of those boxes. Now onto the tank itself. It does weigh a fair bit because it does have the metal tracks. You can see there's a nicely metal tracks. Obviously it does come in a cheaper plastic version, but metal is always nice, heavier, kind of more scale, feel and weight for the tank. It does have the runners at the front, which are metal, and the drive wheels at the back, which are metal as well. So that's what you get with the Pro version, also the metal gears in turn as well. What we'll do, we'll open up that tank later on so I can show you what's inside if none of you guys have seen it. But we have a little port here for the battery, and let's get into that right now. A lot of you guys might already have tanks, but a lot of you guys on my channel might not have seen them before, so it might be pretty cool to have a little bit of a lesson if you want to have a little bit of a gander inside. So I have a Li-ion battery. It's a 2-cell. It is of capacity 1800 milliamp hours, so that maybe give you 10 to 15 minutes, not too sure. It's got the Tamiya plug on there. At least it does come with a battery, so we'll leave that unplugged. What we'll do later on, I'll undo these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There might be some more screws up under these fenders, and we can take off we'll separate the lower hull from the upper hull. We can have a look inside, but let's quickly have a look around first. So you have your turret. There's a main plastic ring gear in there that spins the turret around. You have all these nice accessories, nice details. The hatches don't move, but they do look very well detailed. That white stuff, just a foam from the packaging. The hatches here open. Not too sure what that one's for, but this one you can open, and that's where you load your BBs down that little chute right there. The front here you got your machine gun. You also got a little hatch here at the front, which nicely does open as well. That's where the driver would sit. I've seen some people put this on a little servo, so it opens up with a flick of a switch. So that's pretty cool. So you can see down inside the tank, you got your speaker in there as well that emits a sound, because it does have a sound kit on there as well. Pretty cool. Your elevation moves up and down, obviously here. Tire rotation. Your suspension, each row wheel has its own suspension with the Christie suspension in real life, but it does look pretty cool. One thing I've noticed that about this model, the real T-34, the suspension is not as high, kind of lowered a bit, and this track kind of sits on this row wheel like that. So I might do that mod later on, maybe put a little bit of a spacer into these suspension arms to kind of raise them a little bit, so that gives it to true prototypical look, the appearance of the road, of the the track itself. But apart from that, it does look pretty cool. Yeah, so far so good. I even like how it's got kind of like a texture. You can see the texture on the rough texture on the side of the actual turret itself, and on the side of the tank here. Now you can see from the shape of this guy, if you look at it up, you can see the angle on a near 45 degree, I think. And that's what made this tank so awesome back in the day. And so, what was the word? Groundbreaking back in the day, because the angle when a shell would come hit it, you kind of glance off, and it'll give you the same depth because it's on an angle, but keeping the weight down as well. Which, well, when a piece of steel is like that, it's that thick. But when you lie it down, it's thicker, and it's also the same weight as originally was if you had it standing up. So when you lie it down, you're kind of having thicker actual depth, and it also can glance south. Now a lot of tank aficionados will tell me otherwise, or can let me know obviously more, but that's basically the idea of it. Sloping armour was definitely a big thing back in the day, and it still is now, and that's what made this thing such a superior tank in World War II. First came off in 1941, I believe. So I think what we'll do, I'll separate this lower hole to the upper hole, and I can show you inside and show you the inner workings, because a lot of you people might want to see how that looks. Okay, there was 6 at the bottom and 2 on either side of this row, or 1 on each side on that row wheel. Forgot to mention in the beginning that this guy had a V12 500 horsepower diesel motor, which was perfect for the cooler conditions. That's why it performed so well, because it was designed for the Russian climate. The Germans came in there and their tanks just didn't work in such a cool condition. So this guy had a V12 capable of 50 kilometers an hour, which is impressive, and they were built so simply. That was a beautiful thing about these guys. They weren't supposed to last for years and years. They were supposed to last maybe 6 months, so they didn't put that much time and effort into building it. Not like the Germans, they put a lot of engineering, a lot of money, a lot of man hours went into building this guy. This guy could be pumped out. I think I heard a quote was 600 a day. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but 600 a day, and that's ridiculous. The majority of them were women who were making these tanks, so that's pretty incredible. And you think how lucky we are nowadays in this day and age. But so here we go. So there is the inside of a tank. Now, if we flip it around, it's 2 separate parts now, as you can see. Here you have your speaker for the sound kit. You have your control board, which controls everything in this tank. You have your left and right gearbox. As you can see, they are the zinc metal edition, so I hope if I actually was in the shot. Flip it around. Here you have your little smoke system just there. Turret rotation motor. Inside here you have your BB firing mechanism and also your elevation motor. And here's another little daughter board here that helps control some of the lights for the guns, for the little machine gun here, sorry, at the front, and some of the other components as well. But it looks pretty cool. On and off switch at the bottom there. What we'll do, we'll power that battery up and see if we can get it working. I can show you actually inside how it works. Okay, now put 6 AA batteries in here and just powered up the tank, and I'll just give you a quick demonstration. So turn it on at the bottom, little lock switch, push that, and you can hear it starting up. Now the benefit of these new ones, you can actually change the sound set. Before it was this one, so if you hold down here, you can hear it changes. That was the original one that had a long time ago, and if you hold this and push it again, yeah, that's changed. Pretty sweet, so that's awesome. So I think the original one was a Tiger one, maybe this is the Russian set. I'm not too sure, but it has improved, which is really cool. Now, I think originally I said that this one here was for controlling the tank. That's wrong, it's actually for the turret. So left and right, you can see the turret, and the sound set will change. Now what I'll do, let me just turn this volume down. You can turn it up and down like that. Left and right, pretty cool. And here is the elevation, which this will lift up and down. And if you push and hold push and hold this button here, the shooting button, and that's the button to shoot out the BB gun, and the tracks will go back. The whole tank will kind of move back, which isn't really realistic, but it is what it is. Now, I'll take this lid off quickly, and I can show you the inside. So push forward on the stick, and both the tracks will spin together, just like that. And you can see the gearbox here at the back. I'll zoom that in a bit, because it's pretty cool to look at. Push forward on the stick, and you can see it there moving around. Now it does do like a pivot. You just push left or right, the tracks will go in opposite direction. Now if you push forward and left or right, it'll move in that corresponding direction. So that's pretty cool. I'll do a proper driving test later on. I just wanted to show that pretty, just quickly. Now if I just turn the sound back on, I can show you the gun and the machine gun sound. So if you push that back on, push this button, and if you change the sound set, there you go, it's machine gun, and the LED will light up as well. And you've got the throttle obviously, and you can hear it changing now. It definitely does sound better than back when they first came out. Pretty responsive, very quickly. It's not going to be the most realistic, like most scale looking, because it might be jumping around, but it is what it is. So what I'll do, I'll get everything on here, and then we can probably do a running video and see how it performs, because overall, first impressions, they definitely look much better nowadays than the original Heng Longs. A lot of you guys may also agree with me, but I do like how it comes out like this, the Pro version, how it's kind of pre-shaded and all that kind of cool stuff, because you can definitely make it look better with just a quick wash, a few chipping here and there, and that'll definitely make a big difference. One thing to note, that all the parts, sorry about that light coming through, but all the parts are just push fit in, like you got these little hubs that cover over the screws on the wheels, which look really cool. And you also do, if you have the plastic kit, you get these spare track links with the spare track pins, which is cool if you have the plastic ones. One thing I forgot to mention, like we're talking about how quickly they made these, and you know, they were just simple in design. For example, the track pins on, that was an issue with any tank, the track pins coming out, but these ones here had a simple design. On the real tank, just where the track kept riding over this front wheel here, it would have like a little ramp, and if the pins would go out this direction, so they'll be falling loose that direction, so the pin would want to go in towards the center of the hole. So it was like a little ramp here, a little bit of steel. If any track link was coming loose, it would just hit that little link, or hit that little bit of welded tab on the side of the hole, and just push it back in. So it won't be able to go back out this way, it'll just stop. So if any pin was coming loose, it was coming in this way, hit this little ramp inside there, little basic block of steel, and just smack it back in. Simple as that. I love how the Russians do it. So simple, but it works. Alright guys, now I've turned it on and I've actually loaded some BBs in here. I'm actually using the DJI Osmo Pocket, and it's a pretty cool test. I'm just seeing if it can actually track this little tank. Now it's in 1080p at 60 frames a second, doesn't do it at 4K, but anyway, let's give it a go. Now it's pretty cool because it won't deviate. So use a controller, I'm going to turn it on like I showed you before. Just push this button here. Here's the tank winding up. Sounds pretty cool. Now we can just control it like I did before. I've got the sound on. That was on maximum. And I'll just turn it off so you guys can see the tank. But let's see if we actually can track. Yeah. So you can see it does actually track it, so that's pretty cool. Now, what I'll do, let's shoot this my garage door, and you'll be able to hear it. So let's maybe got to push down this button here and push up. So if you push down, I hear it is here. Here's a little BB in my hand. Just that's pretty sweet. So let's do that again. That's you can obviously rotate the turret for this. So push and hold. You hear that guy? There we go, there, bounces away, so that's pretty cool. I really like how this tracks. Oh, lost it, you lost it. Over here. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this video. This is the DJI Pocket Osmo as well. It's pretty awesome. It's tracking my face There we go, face on, it's still detecting me, pretty cool. Sorry, getting distracted. We'll probably use this in the channel in the near future, and some of that running video on the ground was using this in 4K 60 frames a second, so it'd be interesting to see how it looks. But anyway, hope you like the T-34 85 from Heng Long 1/16 scale RC tank. If you're interested, go check out the link in the description down below. It's mate, they're so much cheaper than, probably like 4 times cheaper. 4 times cheaper than a Tamiya kit, but you know, there's different quality as well. But if you want to get into the RC tank world, it's very cheap to do so, and you can also weather it up to make it look really special, because it does look pretty prototypical. Heng Long have come a long way, like I said. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll get the tank out another day when it's a bit better weather and I can take it on some mud and into some water and all that kind of stuff, because it looked pretty cool if you had some slow-mo shots of that. But anyway, if you haven't, please like the video, and if you haven't, also please subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you get notified of all my latest content. So thanks guys, Steve here again, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.